So I'm going to translate Venerable Wasu's Dhamma talk today. First, he wanted to rejoice in the good deeds of everyone who's here, and also last night we had a sustenance offering as well. So he wanted to rejoice in everyone's merits. With regards to today's Dhamma talk, it has to do with the power of the 5 precepts and the results of the 5 precepts. So earlier today, we always on Sundays chant taking in the 5 precepts, which is in the chant book. And that's basically no killing, no lying, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, and no intoxicants of any kind is the 5 precepts that we all initiated. And this is something that we do often to try to maintain it. And so the Venerable wanted to talk about the results of maintaining the 5 precepts in your daily life. So he talked about a person during a certain period of existence who was a very poor individual. And this person had a lot of faith in doing good deeds, but he was so poor he didn't have any money at all. So he decided the only thing that he can do to do a good deed or to show his faith was to pull the 5 precepts. So he held the 5 precepts very purely for the rest of his life. And this was a period of existence that their age was very different from our age in terms of the time, the age that you live. So he lived a very, very long time, more than the average age of what we live today. And this person maintained his 5 precepts very intactly. And then in a future existence, when he passed away, he went into a happy rebirth, and he had a lot of celestial treasures as well from his commitment of doing good deeds. And then when he came back into the human form, he happened to be born during the Buddha's time. And this time he was born into a family that wasn't poor. They had money. But, you know, his parents took him to listen to a teaching by the Buddha of that time. And at the age of 5, because he upheld precepts from the previous existence, from the age of 5, when he heard a teaching having to do with the 5 precepts, he had this realization within him, and he was able to reach a high level of stillness, so much so that he became something known as a stream enterer. And in that existence, he ended up, to my understanding, being a monk named Tayat. I might have butchered it, but he was a monk in that existence, and he eventually became an arahant. So this is the power of the 5 precepts, essentially, is just trying to realize that it's extremely powerful in terms of maintaining these 5 things, these 5 habits, disciplines for us to have as a habit. And during that time, the Buddha actually talked about this particular individual and shared how he was able to reach arahant because he was so committed to the 5 precepts before. So we can't underestimate the power of the 5 precepts. The Venerable recited too something that the monks will say after we initiate the 5 precepts, is that virtue is a source of happiness. Virtue is a source of true wealth. Virtue is a source of peacefulness. Therefore, let virtue be purified. And virtue is the 5 precepts that we initiate. So it is powerful to uphold it every day. We should try our best to maintain it and build it as a habit, realizing that everything is connected. When we uphold the 5 precepts, it truly does affect our body, speech, and mind and our actions. As a result, that's what we try to do, is maintain these 3 things in our life, which is meditation, upholding the precepts, and acts of generosity, because in the end, they're all connected into being an individual who accumulates good deeds. And it's all part of what we're trying to do when we come here. And the Venerable said that our abbot would emphasize how important it is to uphold the 5 precepts into our life every day. It's the one thing that will protect us, and it's the best way for us to maintain our mind in control. And he said that the abbot said that in order to make it easier for you to pull the five precepts, all we need to do is simply keep our mind at the center of our body, and then that will help us attain stillness. By us upholding the five precepts, by us doing our acts of generosity, it's going to help us attain stillness even faster when we meditate. And this is the Venerable's Talk today.